So as the United States approaches the 19th anniversary of the launch of the War on Terror, a new report is giving insight for the first time into just how many people have actually been displaced. And they say about 37 million, that's a conservative estimate. RT's Rachel Blevins is joining us from the newsroom with more details to this. So Rachel, what have we learned about the impact of this war?
Well, Manila, it has been nearly 2 decades since former President George W. Bush announced that the U.S. was launching a war against terrorism. Now reports estimate the number of people displaced could be as high as nearly 60 million. This according to a new report from Brown University's Cost of War project, which found that at least 37 million people have been displaced by U.S. wars since 9/11. They say that is a very conservative estimate, noting that the actual number is likely closer to 48 or even 59 million. But even at 37 million, the war on terror has impacted more people than any conflict since World War II. It is the equivalent of displacing nearly every resident in the state of California or the entire population of Canada. The report from the Cost of War project, which is the first of its kind, looked at the number of people displaced in 8 countries that have been hit the hardest by U.S. intervention since 9/11. This includes 1.2 million in Libya since 2011, 3.7 million in Pakistan since 2001, 4.2 million in Somalia since 2002, 4.4 million in Yemen since 2002, 5.3 million in Afghanistan since 2001, 7.1 million in Syria since 2014, and a devastating 9.2 million in Iraq since 2003. Now, Manila, a 2019 report estimated that the U.S. has spent more than $6.4 trillion on war since 9/11, and the number of people who have died as a result of those conflicts hit 1 million in Iraq alone just 5 years after the U.S. invaded.
Now, Rachel, is there any sign the U.S. is scaling back or at least scaling down all the efforts there?
Well, President Trump has repeatedly said that he wants to end the endless wars, and this week he is expected to announce plans to reduce troops in Iraq and Afghanistan ahead of the upcoming election. But that hasn't stopped the U.S. from increasing its military presence in other areas, mainly the Indo-Pacific. Now, following a meeting with U.S. officials, reports claim the Republic of Palau has asked the Pentagon to build ports, bases, and airfields on the island nation, which would offer a boost to U.S. military expansion plans in Asia as Washington aims to counter China. But even as the increased tensions between Washington and Beijing become a main focus of the U.S., questions still remain as to whether the war on terror will ever truly come to an end. Reporting in the newsroom, Rachel Blevins, RT.